This is a production of Gordon College's Scot Radio.
Scot Radio.
Welcome, everybody. This is the end. I am your host, Chase Draus. My equal parts host, Liam Carroll, decided to be a good boyfriend and take his girlfriend out on their anniversary. Liam, you abandoned me. Thank you so much. I'm going to weep in sorrows, going all night, probably till mid-morning tomorrow. Thank you. All right, so since I didn't want to do it alone and I didn't want to cry alone, I have my hot chocolate here, and I also managed to bring Ben Schneider along too.
What's up, everybody?
So, all right. So, yeah, this is the end. We're going to go right into the news here. Who's that YouTuber that always goes, let's get right into the news? I don't know. It's like Drama Alert, something like that. Anyway, it's propaganda anyway. So, all right. First up, holy crap, we have so much stuff with the trade deadline for the NHL. All right, so the NHL trade deadline ended Monday at 3 p.m., and a lot of teams made a lot of moves, and we're going to go over that. Ben, did your Flyers make any moves?
I honestly have no idea. I've been super busy today, so I guess I'll take a look at that. But
so on the last day, we had several big trades that happened. Vegas Golden Knights acquired goaltender Robin Lehner and forward Martin Dzierer Cal something from Chicago in return for Malcolm Subban and Stanislav Demin and a second-round pick. Robin Lehner, proven goaltender, showed that he can actually be solid in between the pipes and be be a starter for a long period of time if called upon. I mean, he is getting up there in age, so I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how this one goes out. I mean, obviously they have Marc-Andre Fleury. You really don't care about Vegas, do you? By the look on your face.
Why? I don't know. I like the Golden Knights.
Sure. All right.
I'll root for the Flyers over them, but
yeah. Well, I mean, I would hope so.
I like Fleury.
Yeah.
I like Fleury, and he played in Pittsburgh for
a
lot of his career. So what does that tell you?
Coming from the heart of a Flyers fan. All right.
The Flyers did acquire Derek Grant from the Ducks, but I'm on the homepage of their website right now. It's the only thing that they've bothered to put on the website regarding trades. So I assume that's the biggest move they made.
So, Carolina Hurricanes acquired defenseman Brady Skjei from New York, and the biggest reason that this is news is because the rapper. I believe it was Chance the Rapper when he did that SNL skit where it's like, yeah, hockey. Let's do that hockey. You know, that's what they say when they want to play hockey. And they had him try to pronounce his name. That was really the biggest news there. Carolina Hurricanes acquires defenseman Sami Vatanen from the New Jersey Devils in exchange for Dude, all the Europeans got traded, and holy cow, I cannot say any of these names. John Kukanen and defenseman Frederick Kaysen. So, actually, a lot of other big trades happened, and probably the biggest one being the Boston Bruins actually got Anders Kasse and Richie from the Ducks. Two separate trades, but the reason that this is big is that Anders Kasse is a proven goal scorer. He is a phenomenal player. And the scouting report has been he shows flashes of pure brilliance, where he's easily an elite player, and then he has had moments where he's a third-line player. Given the fact that Boston's such a solid team right now, I think we're going to see a lot more spurts of brilliance from him, and I think it's going to come when it matters. And then Richie was a top 10 draft pick, and we got him for Danton Heinen, who was, quite frankly, he did not blossom as much as we thought he would. And for the Anders Kasse trade, David Backes left along with a prospect. And I think the Bruins lucked out. I think they had a very good draft. Two very solid, reliable players. Kasse can easily go into second, third line position. And Richie can hold the fourth line pretty well. And I'm looking down the list, and probably the biggest one that most people will know, Patrick Marleau from the San Jose Sharks got traded to the Pittsburgh Penguins for a third-round draft pick. And Marleau has been bouncing around a lot. So, I mean, Pittsburgh looks dangerous, especially after they got Zucker And he's been doing very well with Sidney Crosby. So this one's pretty big. Jean-Gabriel Pageau from Ottawa got traded to the New York Islanders in exchange for a 2020 first-round draft pick, a 2020 second-round draft pick, and a conditional 2022 third-round draft pick. That clears up a lot of cap space for the Ottawa Senators, and I think they're going to target someone in free agency. Or with the draft picks, they're going to load up and try, because, I mean, they've already been rebuilding for so long.
They are one of the weakest teams in the Eastern Conference right now, so they could certainly use some help.
Washington Capitals acquire Ilya Kovalchuk from the Montreal Canadiens in exchange for a third-round draft pick. This trade made no sense to me because Kovalchuk was doing so well for Montreal, and you just traded him for no apparent reason. I don't understand that because you picked him up and you're like, oh, yeah, he can help us out. Oh, hey, yeah, we can trade him for no reason. It just made no sense.
Well, Kovalchuk gets to go to a better team now.
True.
So I guess he's
and now Washington's going to become even more dangerous because they're going to have Kovalchuk on their third line.
Yep.
Really adding a real goal-scoring threat. Vancouver Canucks acquired Tyler Toffoli from the Los Angeles Kings in exchange for forward Tim Schaller and the rights to forward Tyler Madden and a 2020 second-round draft pick and a 2022 conditional draft pick. So Canucks, they picked up Toffoli and they beat the Bruins 9-3. I say that more than likely the Canucks won that trade, but I mean, there's been a lot of trades going on, so obviously we're gonna be bouncing around quite a bit. But what have you been thinking of like with all these trades that have been going on right now?
I think the league looks a little bit different now, to say the least. But I don't know. One thing I love about the NHL is the parity, and the fact that we've seen time and time again, any team that makes the Stanley Cup playoffs can go all the way and advance to the Stanley Cup final. You don't really see that much in the NBA. You know that the 6, 7, 8 seeds really aren't going to do much. They might win some games in their first round matchup, maybe squeak through to the second round, but they're not good enough to be a championship team. So
I mean, right now the league's looking pretty even. I think the Pacific got a lot stronger as they're more often than not seen as the weaker division. And Las Vegas is bulking up, and I think they're going to try and make another push for the Cup like they did their first year, which is weird to say because not a lot of people actually thought a expansion team could get into the playoffs, let alone make it to the Stanley Cup final. All right, so some of the winners and losers, because obviously we got to talk about winners and losers because here on the end we like winners and we like smack-talking losers. So, the winners, Patrick Marleau and Ilya Kovalchuk. They were on teams that completely sucked, and now they're actually halfway decent. And Patrick Marleau, obviously he's going to be in the Cup contention now with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Ilya Kovalchuk with the Washington Capitals. Here's actually an interesting trade, though, that didn't happen. Joe Thornton requested that he would be traded to essentially, because this is going to be one of his last years. He's already come out and said this, and he wants to win a cup because he hasn't done it yet. There was a lot of talks of him coming back to Boston to get that cup, and the GM Doug Wilson did not grant this wish, and it was no storybook ending with Boston Bruins, no reunion, and it was just a lot of rumors, and it's really sad because everyone actually wants to see that happen. Robin Wehner, he's a winner. He was a Vezina Trophy finalist last year, and he wanted to be treated as such. However, he, as the backup to Carey Price, really didn't get much of an opportunity, and just could not get along with the Blackhawks organization. And so now he got traded, and he's got a chance to win a cup with the Vegas Golden Knights, who made a lot of good moves. And the Chicago Blackhawks, they lost straight up. They did not trade some players that were bad for contracts. They picked up, third, second round draft picks, just picked up some really bad prospects. It's foolish. Boston Bruins, they were considered a winner according to this ESPN article. I think so because Andres Case, this is going to be so hard because it's literally spelled Kase. He's a talented 24-year-old who has a small contract. And that opens up a lot of money for them to re-sign Torrey Krug, who arguably is going to be one of the best defensemen in free agency if he is not re-signed. So I'm excited. And then, they cleared up 75% of David Backes' contract, who they signed for $6 million. And they also cleared up more cap space because Danton Heinen's contract was more than Nick Ritchie's. So they cleared up a lot of cap, and I think they're actually going to be in a pretty good spot right now. So, moving on to something that is not as serious, the XFL. The XFL is basically the college alcoholic's dream. Because you know what? Hey man, spring break in football? This is great! I don't know. The XFL is obviously, they're one of the big people involved with that. It's Vincent Kennedy McMahon, who, if you just do a Google search of him, he is arguably one of the worst CEOs in the business. And I think it's also fair to note that he was power slammed by Donald J. Trump. They straight up just, he wasn't the president, he was just Donald Trump at the time, but it's like, dude, you straight up just power slammed one of the biggest guys. Oh my word. It was, so the XFL has taken much after Vincent Kennedy McMahon and kind of was just a rebel league. I mean, literally in the locker rooms, there's videos of guys shotgunning beers, celebrating. There's a guy that threw up on the field, fair to assume because of intoxication. But the funny thing is, we're actually getting half-decent football. And I mean, right now, the only team that's undefeated right now is the Houston Roughnecks and the, actually it's just the Houston Roughnecks, but the the St. Louis Battlehawks are 2-1 with 68 points for and 46 points against. This is just an interesting dynamic because you see a whole bunch of teams that are just like, it's not even common because you see St. Louis Battlehawks, DC Defenders, New York Guardians, Tampa Bay Vipers. Like, dude, these sounds like create a team names in Madden.
Well, every city here has an NFL team except St. Louis, I guess, right?
You are
and
correct.
They had the Rams for many years, but
I mean,
yeah.
But it's fair to say because St. Louis is very much a football area, and they were diehard fans of the Rams. And then when they left for Fan Appreciation Night, they had 3,000 fans show up. They did not feel very appreciated, needless to say.
Well, I'm sure when they left Los Angeles in the 90s, their fans out there were probably feeling the same way. Although L.A. is not much of a football city, I would say, when it comes to sports. There are a lot more basketball and even baseball fans out there, I think.
Well, I mean, they just oversaturated the market. There was no reason for San Diego to go to L.A.
Oh, I agree.
And
no way.
I feel like it was just the L.A. Rams. I feel like they'd be doing fine. But now they,
almost won a Super Bowl a couple years ago.
So, I mean, either way. But we're getting a lot of good stories because we're getting there's a quarterback right now who was on the practice squad for the Indianapolis Colts, and he got cut. And then I believe it was Andrew Luck who said to his dad, who was one of the executives, P.J. Walker, that's his name, and he's like, hey, you got to sign this guy. He's really talented, really gifted, and he's actually doing really well for himself. And I like the idea of having a second league because I don't want to say it's almost like a farm system, but it's a place for guys to play ball who can still ball, but aren't good enough for the NFL, or the NFL just doesn't want to take a chance on them. I mean, it's so much so that Johnny Manziel actually wants to come and compete in the XFL.
Well, I don't know about that.
What's your opinion on Johnny Football?
On Johnny Football, I could go on and on about Johnny Football. I know we have a lot to cover, but I think he was just another one of those quarterbacks that his style of playing was able to get him by in college, but clearly it did not adapt well to an NFL system.
It also didn't help he was with the Browns.
Well, that's true. That is true. But yeah, then he went to the CFL, and didn't he throw 4 interceptions in one half?
Yep.
Yeah. So
once you go,
I think yeah. I mean, he might get signed, and I don't know. What was he in the AAF last year?
He might.
I don't.
Well, I mean, the
I don't know. I mean,
the AAF probably didn't have enough time to actually dissipate because it was gone quicker than Johnny Manziel in the actual NFL. So,
which was a shame. I mean,
the AAF was a good league.
Yeah, they had some good football.
I really like the rules they had because they didn't have commercial.
Yeah,
they had split seam.
Well, I forget even who it was from, but I saw a tweet from somebody pop up in my timeline this weekend, and he said, I want to like the XFL. I want to care about the XFL. It's just hard for me to care about football when it's not football season.
Yeah.
And he said, this is the time of year where, if you're a sports fan, you're probably more interested in basketball. Spring training's coming up if you're a baseball fan. Hockey's right in the thick of their season as well. We're just not used to having football this time of year. And what other people have been saying, I mean, Chase, you were talking about a second league. Baseball obviously has all their farm systems.
Yeah.
Minor league baseball, the NBA has the G League, the NHL has the AHL. What does the NFL have? You're either on an NFL roster, or I guess you could be on a practice squad too, or you're not. So if you're...
And even then, you can only be on the practice squad for 4 years.
So if you're a talented college senior who maybe isn't quite ready for the NFL yet, but doesn't want to give up on the dream of playing football, I think it would be good for there to, even if it's not aligned with the NFL as directly as other sports are, it would be good for there to be another league where players can go to after college if an NFL team doesn't give them a call and see what they can do.
Yeah, I mean, it happened when the NFL tried to go to Europe. That was an interesting event. There's their first mistake, going to Europe, where they say, oh, football? Oh, yeah, no, Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, Wayne Rooney. No, we're talking Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, and freaking Dez Bryant. I had to go with someone who was washed up. Big personality, not exactly skill set. But yeah, no, the XFL, they're looking pretty good. Ratings, I'm not quite sure about, but I mean, I assumed they're probably not the best.
Have to be fairly decent at least, right?
Yeah. I mean, right now, their viewership has dipped a little bit, but they're still high. So obviously there is a market for football right now. And right now, I believe that they have... I'm sorry, I'm trying to pull it up. The XFL on ABC was 2 million viewers. The XFL on Fox was I don't think that's right. I think that's a typo. 2,051?
Probably.
Oh.
2.0.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And they actually beat out the PGA on NBC. Shocker. They beat out the NBA on ABC. That's a little bit of shocker.
NBA ratings haven't been that great this season.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's pretty much guaranteed, 4 or 5 teams. That's the only hope they have.
Well, that's double what it was the last 4 years, though.
I know. But
were you ready for Warriors Cavs season 4, Chase? I know I was excited for that.
Yeah,
really
it was
excited.
Great time, good time.
I could not believe I found myself rooting for, as a Sixers fan, I was rooting for the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals that year because I was like, I don't even hate the Cavs. I'd like to see some parity. It's the same 2 teams 4 years.
I nearly dropped over dead when I found out Toronto was indeed going to the playoffs. And I mean, didn't Golden State still make it?
Yeah, it was Raptors Warriors last year.
And thank God they won, because if it was Warriors again, then it's like, dude, good riddance, get out.
Well, the Warriors won't be back this year.
Yeah, because what do you know? When you get rid of 2 key players and Steph and Clay get hurt, what do you know? They're not actually that good. It's because they didn't have any depth to begin with. They literally just, all right, hey, we're going to put all of our effort into our starting 5. Oh, what bench? We don't need a bench. All right, anyway, so obviously right now with the actual NFL season in the offseason, there's a lot of talk right now on what the draft is going to look like. And quite frankly, it's going to be rather interesting because obviously there was a lot of talks of Joe Burrow not wanting to play in Cincinnati. That turns out it was just rumors. However, he did say he did want, if he was going to play for any team, it was going to be the team that drafted him. He wasn't going to pull an Eli Manning, which is pretty good. And then, for the most part, a lot of quarterbacks are going in the top 5. We got, 3 of the top 5 picks going to quarterbacks with Tua, Justin Herbert, and Joe Burrow, with Chase Young going second to the Redskins, which they really do need. But, hey, you know what? up the defense and give Dwayne Haskins another chance? Because Dwayne Haskins wasn't a bad quarterback. He was just inexperienced, I think. That's my take. But, you add a little bit more to the defense. Ron Rivera's coming in, who's a very experienced head coach. I think they can do something with him. Then, Tua going to the Dolphins. Tua wants to play in Miami. He's made statements saying that he wants to play in Miami. However,
Does that draft have him going at number 3?
yes.
So I guess the Lions and Dolphins will make a trade.
Yes, they did make a trade in this mock pick. But the GM of the Lions said that they're not drafting a quarterback because they still have faith in Matthew Stafford, which, quite frankly, they should. Because he's been literally, I think he's probably going to be this generation's Phillip Rivers. Because was he ever good enough to make it to the playoffs? Yes. His team wasn't. Because, the best weapon he had was Megatron. That was it. Other than that, nothing. Chargers they're gonna trade with the Giants apparently. Dude, they have a lot of trades projected in this draft, and I'm not quite sure how I feel about it. Yeah, but right now they're projected to get Justin Herbert. He's a pretty good quarterback. I've seen him in a lot of the games he's played, and I think he's gonna be something in the NFL. But
yeah, it's always hard to predict once you get past. I think everybody's confident Burrow will go number 1. And I guess Chase Young go number 2. It looks like all 4 of NFL.com's analysts have him going to the Redskins there. But yeah, after that, I guess there can always be a surprise or two.
Yeah.
And then once you get past the first round, obviously, who knows? Yeah. It's very hard to predict.
Yeah. So a pretty interesting idea that has come up is with the Jets. That is my team, if you haven't been paying attention to our show. An interesting idea that has come up is what if the Jets were to franchise tag Robbie Anderson and then try to trade, and get another draft pick for another wide receiver later on in the line. Because quite frankly, you could trade for, I think Green Bay would probably take Robbie Anderson, and they could probably get a wide receiver with pick number 30, maybe a couple other, here and there, but I don't know, because Robbie Anderson is probably one of the hotter free agents out there right now. He has shown that he can be pretty decent as a second, wide receiver, but quite frankly, it's up in the air. So, but obviously, since Liam's not here to truly defend himself, I am going to mention the Patriots, which are not on this draft board. Ben, what do you got? Because I do not agree.
23rd. Are they
23rd? Made a trade
with the
Carolina.
Panthers? Yeah.
I don't.
Xavier McKinney, 2 of the 4, I guess. So Bucky Brooks and MJD, Maurice Jones-Drew, both have them getting the safety from Alabama.
Dude, Chad, you are a terrible draft analyst. Chad Reuter. Dude,
what did the Patriots need right now? I guess they probably need a backup quarterback, right?
Yeah, I would,
unless they have faith in Jarrett Stidham, but no. How many years does Brady have? Is Brady even going to be back? We don't even know that for sure.
Yeah.
I would think he'd probably finish where he started, but I don't know. I guess the Chargers are going to make a push, the Raiders are going to make a push, but
yeah. I think I'm not quite sure what's going to happen with Brady because, quite frankly, this could be its own segment, but really there's nothing but pure speculation at this point. Brady wants big-time money. And quite frankly, a lot of people say he deserves it because he's taken salary cut after salary cut after salary cut to try and make his team great. I think he realized, hey, we're not going to be winning any Super Bowl anytime soon, so I want to get mine. And a lot of people think that he should get it. Truth be told, I don't think the Patriots want to give him that money. They might. Obviously, the New England fan base is going to love Tom Brady no matter what. But anyway.
Shocker, the Eagles are projected to get a wide receiver.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we covered all the fan favorites here in the end. So one draft pick that I really, really wish the Jets would get is I wish they would get CeeDee Lamb. I really think that if they got CeeDee Lamb, they could easily, they need a wide receiver. I understand that they need an offensive line, but dude, give him a target. Because honestly, Sam Darnold, the best receiver he has is Le'Veon Bell. Like, really? A running back. It's your best receiver. That's not okay. Yeah, but obviously there's going to be a lot of interesting stuff that happens draft day. We will be covering that when the draft actually happens. I'm not exactly sure when the draft is happening, truth be told, because, well, quite frankly, no one actually knows the draft until it actually happens. But yeah, I haven't. That's the one thing I can't find on this thing. What the heck? Anyways, Ben, your area of expertise, NASCAR.
Sure.
So, yeah, take it away.
Well, what do you want to
I don't know,
update
dude.
on Brian Newman, I guess?
Go for it.
Yeah, so we mentioned, I guess, Tuesday night the update was Newman was awake and communicating with doctors. Within 24 hours, he was actually walking out of a hospital, fully unassisted, holding the hands of his two daughters. And actually, just today, he posted a picture on Twitter. He was out enjoying time on the lake fishing. So
I'd say he's back.
yeah, he is still. So he issued his first statement this weekend. He didn't travel to Las Vegas.
Understandably so.
He said he's being treated for a head injury, but no broken bones or internal organ damage, which
That's
again is quite frankly miraculous. And Ross Chastain, ironically enough, one of my favorite drivers, the humble watermelon farmer from Florida, he is slated to continue to sub for Newman on a race-by-race basis. There's no timetable for Newman's return, but he has confirmed that Jack Roush has set the 6 car aside for him when he is able to get back in the car, and his goal is unchanged. He is still going to try his best to win the 2020 Cup Series championship.
Hey.
So, props to him.
Yeah.
And
Truly incredible.
yeah,
Yeah. So, obviously, NASCAR, really shook the world. Really all sports. Because I've been seeing a bunch of celebrities, giving their thoughts and prayers to Ryan Newman.
even Mayor Pete, because Newman's from. I knew he was from Indiana. I didn't realize Newman was from South Bend. Mayor Pete actually tweeted his well wishes to Newman the night of the accident. But yeah, just absolutely unbelievable. And I should mention there was a press conference this week at Las Vegas updating everybody on the situation. Everybody was fearing a worst case scenario, I think, when they brought the black screens out to prevent people from taking photographs and seeing what was going on. It was mentioned that was, and I'll go into further detail on my motorsports show right after this, so stay tuned at 9 o'clock for that one.
Shameless plug.
Yes, shameless plug. But they mentioned that a few years ago when Eric Almirola had the accident at Kansas that broke his back, there was some criticism of some photographers who caught some photos of him being extracted from the car and in obvious pain in a back brace, and those photos circulated, and some people weren't super happy about that. So in response to that, with the Newman accident, they brought the screens out to try to prevent that, and they say going forward, if an accident like that does happen again, of course we hope and pray that nobody gets seriously hurt in any of these races. But the screens coming out does not automatically mean worst case scenario.
Yeah.
So that was just an interesting tidbit that I took away from.
And I think it's good because it
that.
it respects the privacy of the driver and the team, with what's going on. And, quite frankly, the press is a bunch of, let's just say, very hungry hyenas, wild pack of animals. They'll do whatever they can to get a story. And, think about it. Like, celebrities, they're basically press guys who are like, all right, I always got to take pictures of these celebrities to make money. And, it is a living. However, it's like there is such thing as privacy. They are still people. So,
Well,
I think
I wish TMZ understood that.
they never will.
Yeah.
They tried calling Kobe's wife literally the day, couple hours of, when the news broke.
Oh.
It's like,
Even before that.
yeah.
Like I think before they had even broken the news or something. I mean, it was ridiculous. And then the sheriff even mentioned that during the press conference that afternoon. They said they didn't want to release the victims' names yet. because the crash had been broken through TMZ, and how heartless. And he said this. I don't know if I'll get it right word for word, but how heartless and disappointing would it be to hear that you lost a loved one, and you hear that through TMZ?
Yep.
It's just that's not right.
Yeah.
So
top 5.
actually,
Sorry. Go ahead.
I did want to mention, because I know we talked about the coronavirus last week. Last week was obviously a very NASCAR-heavy show, but the Formula One Chinese Grand Prix has been, at the very least, postponed due to the coronavirus outbreak,
Yeah.
which I think is understandable.
Yeah. I mean, corona is a very nasty thing. So, but, I mean, they got to protect the public at this point. They got to protect the drivers because, corona is a pretty nasty thing. I mean, there is a vaccine in the works. Right now, they said it's going to be a year to 18 months. So, before it's officially out. So
this actually just came out today as well. The U.S. CDC warns of, quote, disruption of everyday life with spread of coronavirus, even though there's still, I think, 50, somewhere between 50 and 60 infected in the U.S.
Yep, sounds about right.
Which, given that we're a country of close to 330 million people, I would say there's not too much cause for concern just yet. But
travel.
That's the thing. People need to be careful, but they seem to think that it's a matter of when, not if, the outbreak gets really bad here in the United States.
Yeah. So, well, I'm going to be camping in the woods all summer, and I refuse to actually talk to anyone. I will be hunting for my food, and I will be a hobo person in the woods with a tent and a dog. Seems like a good enough life for me. I'm getting a nod from our tech. It's obviously a good life. Anyway, so top 5 for NASCAR. Coming off the rabbit trail. Ryan Blaney. Right now, he's in first place. Is anyone really surprised about that though? Like, he's a talented driver. So.
Yeah. Of course, it's still early, but coming off the runner-up finish at Daytona and a good week this week in Las Vegas, where you could argue maybe he should have won the race.
But it was my boy, number 2, Joey Logano, who got the
number
win.
22.
22. No, he's number 2 on the standings.
Oh,
so,
well, okay. All right.
So, yeah. Number 2 on the standings, Joey Logano, my boy. Dude, tearing it up, 82 points, 1 win, 1 top 5. Man, I love this guy. All right, and Kevin Harvick, hot on his tail.
Kyle Larson, and how about Ricky Stenhouse Jr.?
That's kind of a shock.
Yeah, the 500 pole sitter, and a third-place finish last week at Vegas. Yeah, and driving for JTG Doherty, which, I mean, no disrespect to them, but even with how mediocre by their standards Roush Racing have been in recent years, I don't think anybody expected a JTG car in the top 5 in points this season.
What?
And again, of course, it is still early, but
I like it. More diversity in the team.
Yeah, and Ryan Preece was having a good run yesterday, or not yesterday, Sunday as well. So who knows what's in store for that team this year?
Well, you know what's in store next. Everyone's favorite, 2 real, 1 fake news. Don't look at my article. So, just to explain the rules, because most likely you have not heard this before, I'm going to tell Ben a couple news stories. 2 of them are going to be real news stories. 1 of them is going to be fake. And he has to guess which one. All right. Let's see. Alaska senator receives discipline for pooping in a coffee maker.
Which senator?
I ain't gonna tell you that. They actually didn't post it because they couldn't confirm who did it. However, that it can be confirmed that in the Democratic area of, or the Democrat section of the state Senate.
Of a state Senate.
Yeah,
okay.
state Senate.
So
no,
not
it wasn't an actual senator.
Okay.
That's important to note.
I was going to say, I feel like I would have heard about
there's
that.
There's going to be consequences for the person. An incident was reported by a newsletter written by Legal Office in Anchorage. And although the details remain a mystery, according to the newsletter...
Wait, was there a microphone involved in this? Like, was it... I feel like I might have heard this story.
I have no...
Or can you not tell me?
I cannot tell you about any sort of microphone.
There was some guy went to the bathroom, left his mic on, and a hearing was still going on. And
no, that's not this story.
Okay, all right.
So, So right now they're trying to investigate on who the mystery pooper is. However, they are saying that it is a clear violation of basic human dignity to poop in a coffee maker. And quite frankly, I do agree, because pooping in a coffee maker just is a very disrespectful thing to do to a cup of coffee. I mean, still...
What about the actual people that are going to use the coffee maker?
Yeah, well, they found out, because, I mean, you look at the cup of coffee before you drink it, you pour it, and then it's like, this does not look right. And it smells like garbage, also known as Starbucks. Yeah, Starbucks, I'm calling you out. You kidding me? You have to use 20 grams of sugar to make your coffee taste good. Redo your stuff. Anyways, so, up next. Florida man in Easter Bunny costume arrested after a hit and run previously seen in a viral video blaming the same outfit. A Florida man dressed as the Easter Bunny costume has been arrested for allegedly fleeing the scene in a hit and run in a motorcycle crash. Highway patrolmen say they arrested Antoine Tyreek McDonald as he was trying to evade authorities in the aftermath of a motorcycle crash in Seminole County, as a report of WFT TV.
Are there Florida man articles on this segment every show now?
Yup. Because you never know what a Florida man's gonna do next. I swear, they're just the meme state. But anyway, so they did. They figured him out. They arrested him. They didn't post it on Twitter. Easter Bunny beatdown. Person dressed as the Easter Bunny was caught in the camera. Nope, that's not the same story. Never mind. They completely took a U-turn. Probably should read this before I actually, say it on air. But you know what? It's okay. Liam's not here. We can be a lot more free. Anyways, doctors discover booze brewing in sober woman's bladder. A 61-year-old patient was denied a liver transplant because doctors thought she was hiding an alcohol-induced problem. The Pennsylvania woman seeking a liver transplant then denied these accusations, saying that she had not drinking all day. But doctors at the University of Pittsburgh School of Medicine and Medical Center were skeptical, since excessive drinking can harm the liver. They pushed her, hey, maybe you should enter rehab. But the woman kept insisting she did not, drink. They took a sobriety test. She passed with flying colors. They actually discovered the real trouble was brewing in her bladder, as it was producing alcohol on its own, suffering from a disease called urinary autobrewery syndrome, which caused her bladder to make alcohol. Since then, she has been put on the list to receive a liver transplant. And, yeah. So, we got the booze brewing stomach, bladder. The booze brewing bladder. Say that 10 times fast. Florida man in an Easter Bunny costume gets arrested. Or the Alaskan senator.
I feel like that would... I want to say the Alaskan senator because I feel like that's below the dignity of public office. But I'm thinking about politics these days and how...
People would not put it past Donald Trump.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't going to go there.
It's okay. You're allowed to be offensive on this show. We actually encourage it. Just as long as you back it up.
I thought you encouraged respectful debate on this show.
Yeah, but it's okay to... as long as you offend people with facts. Anyway.
I don't know. Yeah, why not? We'll go with the Alaskan senator.
You are right. So...
That's the fake story?
That is the fake story.
That's the first time I've been right on this show.
Alaskan Airman...
1 for 5.
Yeah, Alaskan Airman receives discipline for urinating in a coffee maker. So...
Oh, well, that's still...
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. Who would actually take the time to, go up on a table, drop trowel, and just hey, you know what? I'm just going to poop in a coffee maker. And then on top of that, imagine that surprise that they saw when it's just oh, jeez. No. Then again, you probably got the same, response where it's why does my coffee taste like pee? Anyways, so...
I actually have some breaking news in the world of Gordon basketball. Gordon senior Eric Demers is now the Commonwealth Coast Conference all-time scoring leader.
Yep.
So not just Gordon now. He's the all-time scoring leader in the history of our conference.
Oh, so he actually pulled it off today. Dang.
Well, I don't know. I'm following their Instagram story. They were up 86-76 with 2 minutes left in the game, which is a sizable lead. So they were in good shape. I'm trying to find updates. That was 22 minutes ago. So
it's fair to
we're
assume
trying
that
to-
he is the best player to be in our conference.
yeah. Okay, they won. I'm on the website. So Gordon won. They beat Western New England 95-83, and so they will advance to the semifinals now.
Good job, guys. Good job. So, congratulations, Eric Demers. Sorry for always calling you Eric Demers. I'm sure you probably got sick and tired of that. But, dude, mad respect from an RSW major to another. Thank you for all that you've done, and thank you for sticking it to our president, who, funny enough, so Eric has gotten a lot of national attention lately. And
Got a Sports Illustrated article.
he got a
this
Sports
week.
Illustrated article written about him.
Yeah.
And he is the only D3 player to get invited to a particular group of guys who work out. It's a whole bunch of G League players, NBA players, European, college, D1 guys. He's the only D3 to go in there. And there's no AC in the gym. And they basically just play as many games of basketball as they can. Eric is usually the only one standing up by the end of it. And the guy who runs the gym is just like, Eric, you're making him look bad. It's like, dude. So, Eric, dude, good Lord, you deserve it. Thank you for everything that you've done. And the president, got to mention, he went to the guy who was writing the Sports Illustrated article, and he came up with a big statement about how proud he was in all this Gordon, Gula, la, whatever, to just say how great our school is and so thankful that we are to have him. Eric has never met the president before. So our president is taking pride in a guy he's never even met. Thank you, Michael Lindsay. I'm not salty. Anyway, going on to the Democratic Party. I swear I'm a moderate. So the Democratic primary polls have been going on, and Sanders has been dominating for a while. However, right now they're expecting Joe Biden to actually start catching up as more moderate states are coming up. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting because right now they're saying that it's going to be between Sanders and Biden, and quite frankly, I really could care less.
Biden?
Yeah.
I feel like Biden's in trouble.
Oh, he is in trouble because Bernie's actually getting a lot of votes because, people are like, wait.
I was thinking Sanders and Mayor Pete.
I mean,
And Buttigieg.
based on the polls I'm looking at right now, it's a lot of Sanders, a lot of Biden, and a couple Kumacher.
I don't know. Nope. Couple who?
Kolbach.
Klobuchar.
Klobuchar? That's how you say it?
Yes, Amy Klobuchar.
Oh. Sorry. I doubt they're actually
But
listening.
okay. Well, Biden finished behind Klobuchar in New Hampshire, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody's ever finished in 5th place in New Hampshire and gone on to win the nomination. So,
I think people know what they're getting with Biden. It's just more of what Obama did, and I think that's his claim to fame. Hey, you remember that president you really like? Hey, I was his vice. Vote for me. No. Yeah, right now Bernie has been doing the most to actually get the young vote, which is very important to do. And quite frankly, he's been doing quite a bit good work. However, my biggest critique with him is that he actually has it on record that anyone making over $29,000 a year is going to have a massive tax increase because apparently they are considered wealthy. And that we need to pay for other people's health care. I'm sorry, that does not fly for me because I've been on both sides of the 29,000. Like, my family was dead broke for a couple of years. And, did we accept the handouts? No, we didn't. We worked hard. We got out of it. And, I guess that makes, it's probably the reason why I'm a little more conservative than, liberal. Because, it is possible. Is it hard? Absolutely. For heaven's sakes, I had ramen noodles for every night for a long time. But we made it work. You just got to be smart and play your cards right. But I understand that that's not for everyone. However, then there do need to be programs in place to help people get out of poverty. So I can understand why Bernie's doing everything that he's doing, but I just don't think that having the state run everything And I mean, it was actually Mayor Pete who said this. Dude, how are we going to pay for all of the programs? Even if we take all the taxes that you've been doing, and it's like, oh, well, we're actually saving money because we get rid of all the plans and that's all, folks. Like, it's just going to happen. No. If you just automatically take away everyone's health care, shut everyone down, guess what? People are going to be out of jobs. And, yeah, you know what? They'll get free health care. But what's that going to do when they can't put food on the table? So, that's my take on it. Obviously, I know there's a lot of things I'm missing. However, I just do not understand Bernie Sanders' plans at all. But I understand less about Michael Bloomberg. This guy is truly an idiot. I mean, he's a rich guy. I think he's richer than Trump, and I think his estimated net worth right now is, I think, a couple $100 million. Or maybe $1 billion. I don't know.
I think he's spent a couple $100 million on ads.
Yeah,
he's
so
definitely a billionaire.
Definitely a billionaire. But so I commented on one of his posts. It was not a good comment, and it was more along the lines of, "Dude, you just got roasted by Senator Warren. How do you feel about that?" And I got a message from Michael Bloomberg.
Did you actually?
I did get a message from Michael Bloomberg. It is most likely an AI because the answers that he was giving are quite ludicrous.
Oh, this is Facebook.
Yep, on Facebook. So, thanks, Chase, for engaging. Would you like to answer a few quick questions about Mike's campaign? And I thought to myself, why, sure.
Okay, so this isn't actually Mike.
No,
this
it is not Mike Bloomberg.
Yeah.
It is definitely AI. Have you decided which president candidate you'll vote for? And I'm
You
like,
said Gary Johnson.
I said I'm voting for Gary Johnson, the libertarian man who faked a heart attack on stage to show the effects of marijuana. Sorry, I don't know what you mean. Which candidate are you committed to? I'm a libertarian.
The one who doesn't know what Aleppo is.
It does not know what a libertarian is. Sorry, I didn't quite get that. Which candidate are you committed to? The Green Party. The Green Party, mind you, is basically communism with extra steps.
You know, it's funny because of the 4 candidates in 2016, Hillary Clinton actually would have been my third pick.
Yeah.
Jill Stein was that bad.
Yep. Sorry, I don't know what you mean. Which candidate are you committed to? Your mother. Sorry, Chase, I didn't quite tell what you mean. Which candidate are you committed to? Another Democrat. Understood. If you'd like to share who you're supporting, Gary Johnson. Sorry, I don't know what you mean. Would you like to share who you're supporting with? Damn, these AI are getting really stupid. Sorry, that was the words I used. It seems like you may not be interested in receiving updates from Michael Bloomberg via Messenger. Would you like to opt out, or would you want to continue your Messenger experience? And I said, opt me out, and then have a great afternoon. So then I decided, you know what? Why not continue it? Let's see where this goes. Would you like to share who you are supporting? Patrick Duvall. Mind you, when this message was sent, Duvall had dropped out of the race.
Was he ever really in the race?
No!
Did he ever break the 1% threshold?
No! Got it. Thanks for letting us know, Chase. This race is really dynamic. We believe that Mike's got the executive experience and proven track record to lead the way, and he might be on your consideration. Or if he might be on your consideration, please share your email and address it so we can keep you in the loop. What is your email address? michael.lindsay@gordon.edu. Welcome to Team Bloomberg, Chase. Dude, what's gonna happen? Is he gonna find me? You know what? Please, I beg you, President Lindsay, please come down to this show and let's have a wonderful conversation about politics. I would love to understand your point of view. And you know what? It's a harmless joke. It's an email. So, and then they wanted to ask for my zip code and I refused. And and then they decided to send me a volunteer shop or event list. And I just put back, I love you. Chase, are you willing to share your Messenger experience with us? These AI are really stupid. I put every other option besides a Democrat or Republican. Sorry, Chase, I can't tell what you mean. How would you like to rate your experience with us? And this is what I noticed, that they had emojis as the rating system. I'm sorry, a smiley face or a frowny face is not a proper way to conduct a survey. That just shows that you're illiterate and you're trying to pander to the cool hippie youth that is college students. Give me a break. Actually, I wrote that. Do I have to use emojis? What is this, middle school? Sorry, I don't know what you mean. Please rate your experience with us. I sent an angry face. Sorry to hear. We would love to hear what would work for you and thoughts that, and as soon as you're done, just, y'all need to either go to people or better AI. Y'all suck and can't recognize a libertarian when you see one. I added that to our notes. Click done. Done. Thank you for your feedback, Chase. Take care. My word. I have lost all faith in Michael Bloomberg. And quite frankly, you should too. He is probably one of the worst candidates on there. He literally was a registered Republican for so long and then decided, hey, wait, they're taking out Trump. Maybe if I can get in, may be able to, keep my money. So he ran, and quite frankly,
but Chase, Mike will get it done.
Yeah, I mean, dude, did you not read that Facebook Messenger?
I don't know what the it is, but I've just been seeing in all his ads. Mike will get it done. So I mean, he's gonna get it done, Chase.
Dude, I mean, Michael's gonna get something done. It's ticking off every single one of us who are receiving Facebook notifications from him. So, quite frankly, do your research, engage with all the campaigns to really get a feel. I am still a firm believer, Vermin Supreme for the nomination. Vermin Supreme is the only way forward. He is going to solve the energy crisis by using zombie power, and everyone is going to go into a pony-based economy. Now, I'm not sure about you. A pony-based economy includes ponies, so therefore, it must be good. My only concern is what happens when they grow into horses.
And we're finally gonna get rid of the epidemic of people not brushing their teeth, too.
Dude, gingivitis.
Yeah.
Dude, we're finally going to solve that epidemic.
Yeah.
And then, dude, I'm sorry, he is still the most legendary man to ever be in politics because he literally glitter bombed a guy. And on top of that, my sister was actually there for the debate, and then she's like, "There, I see this guy with a boot on his head," and I'm just like, "What in the world?" And then someone said something mildly offensive, so he took a bunch of glitter in a hat, put it on him, and said, "Ta-da! Magic." He was never allowed back. I wonder why. And you know what the sad thing is? He actually got fourth in the state of New Hampshire for the Democrats. Like, he beat out a bunch of legitimate people who are trying to make a difference, and they got beat up by a guy with a boot on his head. Like, that's when you know your campaign sucks. Because he had no campaign manager. He literally made a bunch of stickers and handed them out and just be like, "Vote for me. I am a complete and utter spoof of politics, and I'm going to do a whole bunch of ludicrous ideas." And it's just like, dude, Vermin Supreme, I love him. He's probably the best thing to come out of politics within the last 10 years. And the funny thing is, I don't even think he's running. Actually, is Vermin Supreme running?
I think he's on the Libertarian primary file this time, which he was in 16 too, but he's a perennial candidate. He'll always run. He'll get his 70 votes or whatever, and then
actually, funny enough, Vermin Supreme is he actually came from Gloucester High School. No lie.
Yeah. No, he's a local.
I'm not sure if he's Gloucester High School. What do you know? He's from Rockport, Mass. Yep. He runs for various local, state, and national elections. Dude, I'm kind of curious, though, but we're running out of time. So, I mean,
we got to talk about Disney now, right?
So, Disney is out a CEO as Bob Iger has been let go or stepped down from Disney. This is reported by it's been reported by CNN, MSNBC. He steps down and has been replaced by Bob Chapek. So there's a lot of Bobs in Disney, but it's kind of a shock considering that given all the things that have been going on with like Disney Plus and all the acquisitions that has been received, it's kind of surprising. So yeah, I mean, it's just they didn't really say why.
I don't really know what to say yet, just because the story's so new.
He said
is there
that
any reason why?
Right now, it caught everyone off guard. They don't know why he suddenly departed. my guess, something happened, and I think we're gonna find it out soon enough what actually happened. But it's gonna be interesting. So, all right, that's our time. It is 9:00. Coming up next is Ben Schneider hosting the photo finish, which sadly I'm not going to be a part of. I'm sorry, Ben. I do
That's
have
fine.
a presentation
Don't
that
worry
I have
about
to
it.
do, and I have to memorize the speech from Miracle. So, I'm your host, Chase Draus, with an absent, equally part host, Liam Carroll. Hope you had a wonderful time on your date, buddy. And remember, Jesus is watching you. He's always watching you. He knows when you are sleeping. He knows when you're awake. Now be good for goodness sake, because he died on a cross for your sins. Ben Schneider, everybody, he is back on. I swear you are probably in the studio more often than some of the people who are actually directors here.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see how long we go tonight.
All right.
I don't really know, but
Yeah,
yeah,
all
stay tuned. All your motorsports news on Scott Radio's Home for Motorsports Photo Finish on the other side of this break.
All right. Take care, everybody. Stay classy, Gordon. Peace.